need anything, you can reach me. My name's Doug Veerthaler. Look forward to talking to you all soon.
Good morning.
Good morning, Steve. Great to be with you this morning.
Well, it's great to have you on what is a big day up there, I know. But first of all, Senator, I want to get your take on what happened last week with this Chinese spy balloon over the continental United States.
Well, it's just incredible that the Biden administration thought that it was a good idea to not inform the American public, to not respond to it, and to allow it to traverse the United States of America, floating slowly over, very sensitive stations where we keep our nuclear arsenal, and even float over Oak Ridge in our dear Tennessee. It's just amazing that they thought it was worth allowing the Chinese to invade our sovereignty just so they could keep the lid on this. And Tony Blinken could go over, our Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, could go over to China and have a photo op with Xi Jinping. This invasion of our sovereignty is just another demonstration of the fact that Biden does not have any sense of his job and his duty. They won't protect our sovereignty at our southern border. In fact, they've destroyed it. Over 5 million people have come in here illegally since Biden took office. Now they haven't upheld the sovereignty of our airspace. Our nation has become the laughingstock on an international basis.
We're joined by Senator Bill Hagerty. So what do you expect? Of course, you're a former ambassador to Japan for the United States under President Trump. Let me ask you, what do you expect to happen now? The Chinese obviously saying that the parts of the balloon belong to them. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that we should have shot it down over the Aleutian Islands. We should have been ready and waiting for it. We should send it back to them in Ziploc bags. That's we fully analyzed it. I mean, this is ridiculous. And the Chinese understand strength, Steve. I've lived and worked in that part of the world and represented our nation, as you say, when I was ambassador to Japan. Our biggest threat in the world is the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. They are teaming up with the cartels in the border of Mexico and shipping fentanyl in here. The number one killer of young Americans right now between the ages of 18 and 45 is drug overdose. Most of it's fentanyl coming from China. So make no mistake, they are waging economic war on us. They are preparing militarily to push back in every area in East Asia and the South Pacific. And they're taking actions like this and invading our own sovereignty. They're in Latin America. They're in our own hemisphere. China's aggression is just amazing. And our policies with this administration, with Joe Biden, from Afghanistan to the balloon incident, have been nothing but weakness.
We're joined by Senator Bill Hagerty. Speaking of China, Senator, let me get your take on TikTok and where you fall on this. And TikTok is one of the most popular apps, especially the fastest growing social media app. I mean, obviously a lot of people have it around here. How dangerous do you think it is, especially what you know about China?
Well, I'm deeply concerned about it. I know that there's a good deal of work underway to try to more or less fence off the data that's collected here in America. But as a parent, I certainly don't allow my children to use it. You think about it, Steve, you've got a company that's filming kids dancing or doing whatever they're doing in their living room, in their homes, wherever they may be, their personal lives. The law in China is that the Chinese Communist Party has and will be able to obtain data, has access to, and will be able to obtain any data from any Chinese company that's operating on their soil. So there's a work underway. I have not updated on this recently in terms of how well they're doing about fencing it off. I know that's been the effort, but if it's not been done, we should not allow TikTok to operate in the United States. I certainly don't allow it to operate on my children's phones.
Senator Bill Hagerty, well, tonight is the State of the Union. President Biden will deliver that, of course. You'll be there to a joint session of Congress. What are you expecting tonight?
Well, I'm expecting more spin. That seems to be all the Biden administration is capable of doing, press releases and spin. They tried to lead in Afghanistan through a press release. Biden wanted to be the president that brought our troops home on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Well, we know how that turned out. I'm sure that Biden will be claiming credit for delivering all these jobs that were taken away from our economy by blue state lockdowns that took place well beyond anything that was necessary due to the pandemic. So I'm guessing that he'll be taking credit for a lot. I'm also pretty sure that he won't be realistically taking credit for much that he deserves. But we'll see what he has to say today, or tonight, I should say. I've been very disappointed in his performance, and frankly, most Americans are too. If you ask any American, the majority of them are going to say that this country is on the wrong path since Joe Biden took office.
What are some of your immediate concerns about our nation? And as you, of course, sit in the United States Senate, what are you concerned about?
Steve, the greatest concern is the national security crisis at our southern border. I've been to the border. I've taken sheriffs and mayors from Tennessee to the border. It is a complete catastrophe, and it's getting worse by the day. Joe Biden doesn't have any idea who's coming into this country. We've had over 160 different nationalities apprehended at that border since Biden took office. That's almost every nation in the world that's just flooding through that border. He has no idea who's coming into the country. What we do know is that tons of fentanyl are coming across that border, and the coyotes that work with the cartels are using human beings to deflect the CBP, the Border Patrol agents. They've got them consumed just trying to take care of women and children and other folks while they're pushing much more valuable cargo, that's the drugs, across the border and killing America's youth. It's a tragedy that is beyond any comprehension, and Biden ignores it. The media mainly ignore it, and it's a complete tragedy. The other thing I'm very deeply concerned about is the state of our economy. Since Joe Biden took office, inflation is up, prices are up 13.5%. It all began when he began the war on fossil fuels here in America. The day he took office, he launched that war, and he's driven oil and gas prices through the roof. Energy costs have gone through the roof here in America, and also the global markets. Energy costs have gone through the roof around the world. That's what has allowed Vladimir Putin to fund his war on Ukraine, by the way. So, again, Biden's backward policies, not thinking about the second and third order effects, are precipitating disasters not only here in America, but everywhere around the world. Whether it's our economy or our national security, we are far worse off since Joe Biden has been president.
United States Senator from Tennessee, Bill Hagerty. Senator Hagerty, thank you very much. I really appreciate you joining us this morning.
Great to be with you, Steve. All the best.
Thank you, sir. You as well. Senator Hagerty with some thoughts on some timely news items, and we'll come back with Fox, World and National News, plus local and state news to follow. It is 9 minutes after 8 a.m.
This weather forecast is brought to you by the Center. The burden of chronic pain, no matter the source, can have a crippling effect on our daily lives. If you suffer from pain in your joints, back, or neck, call the team at Interventional Pain Consultants. They will treat the source of the problem so you can increase your activity.